It's review time! Does anyone remember what we learned about last week? That's right! We had a guest there named Joseph. If you didn't watch last week, then pause this and go watch The Colorful Coat.
All right, guys, this is our last Sunday here at Busy Bee Farms. We've had so much fun learning all of the things that we've learned. We've learned about the promises that God has given us. We've learned about listening and obeying. We've learned about making the right choice. We've learned about how we need to pray, how that when we worship, we grow. All those wonderful things that we've learned. It's been so much fun. But today, our very last Bible lesson on the farm is about Joseph. We learned about him last week, how he got that really cool coat, and his brothers weren't very nice to him. They didn't say nice things, and they ripped his coat up. But do you know what? Joseph had to go on a journey. And when Joseph was on a journey, guess who was with him? That's right. God went with him when he had to go on his journey, and he ended up in a place called Egypt. He was pretty far away from home. Yeah, he was. But God was with him. And do you know what? Because Joseph had a good attitude and he didn't pout and say, "My brothers were mean to me. It's not fair. Nobody likes me." Joseph didn't have that kind of an attitude. You know what he did? He said, even though my brothers weren't nice to me, they didn't say nice words to me, I forgive them. And Joseph had a good attitude. And do you know what happened? Because Joseph had a good attitude and he didn't sit around and pout, he wasn't mean. Well, my brothers were mean to me, so I'm going to be mean to them. No, that's not what Joseph did. But Joseph, he kept a good attitude. We've learned about that in class before. Oh, we need to have a good attitude. And so what God did is God helped Joseph and he became the king's helper. Now in Egypt, their king, he was called Pharaoh. And the king, he was the one that took care of all the land. And do you know what? Joseph was his helper. How cool is that? Isn't it so much fun when you're at school and you've been good? Maybe you've been listening to the teacher. You've been doing what you've been asked. And the teacher says, Alonzo, I need you to be my helper. You feel really good, don't you? Well, you know why that you get chosen to be a helper? It's because you're listening, you're obeying, and you have a good attitude. And that's what Joseph did. He listened, he obeyed, and he had a good attitude. So what I want you guys to remember is, it doesn't matter if sometimes maybe your brothers or your sisters or your friends, they might be mean. They might say things that aren't very nice. You be like Joseph and you keep having a good attitude because that is the right choice.
Jesus, I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. It gives me hope for each new day. I'm gonna follow Jesus. He lights my path all along the way. I'm gonna follow Jesus. I will go wherever he leads. I'm gonna follow Jesus. No turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back.
thanks for joining me over here at the produce stand. We've been learning today about Joseph. We learned about him last week, but we learned today how that Joseph was a helper because he had a good attitude, he obeyed, he did the right thing, and so he was made a helper over all the land of Egypt. And so I have a question for you, D'Angelo. What are ways that we can be helpers?
You can help somebody with their groceries, maybe.
Oh, wow. So maybe when mom or dad are putting groceries away, you can help them? Or you can help them put the groceries in the car? That's a good way. What about maybe when you see that there's all kinds of toys and messes in your room? What about picking your room up? That's being a good helper, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Maybe at school, when you're there with your teacher, you can be a helper, can't you?
Uh-huh.
What's another way we can be a helper?
You can make a card for somebody who's sick to make them feel better.
That's right. That would make me feel better if I was sick and somebody made me a card, wouldn't it you?
Uh-huh.
It would. So there's many ways that we can be helpers, just like Joseph. But don't forget, you always want to make sure that just like Joseph, that you keep a good attitude and you do what's right.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, this is the last time that we're going to be at Busy Bee Farms. Thank you for joining us every Sunday. We've had so much fun, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
All right, kids, it's so excited to see you again. I'm at Mr. B's house, and I've come today because we're needing to say goodbye to Mr. B and his family.
Well, Miss Gladys, you can't say goodbye yet.
Why not?
Because we've got to talk about all the wonderful things we've learned about.
Yes, I remember we have talked about making good choices with our actions. We have learned that we need to share and we need to pray and that God is always with us everywhere we go.
Yes, Miss Gladys, it's been so much fun coming and talking to the kids each week. We are gonna miss you guys.
I know.
But you know what, Miss Gladys? One thing we can't forget. When we obey, we grow.
That's right. So let's say this together.
Keep up the good work. See you later.